Here are solutions to homework set number 8 for ECE 111. This homework set looks at problems you'll encounter when you take ECE 211 Circuits 1. Now the first problem uses Ohm's law, V equals IR, and power is volts times amps. If I have two measurements, I can calculate the rest. For example, if I know I have 10 volts at 2 ohms, volts over ohms gives you current, 5 amps. Volts times amps gives you watts, 50 watts. If I have 1.5 amps at 2 ohms, V equals IR, so 2 ohms over 1.5 amps gives you 0.75 volts. Volts times amps gives you 1.125 watts. And so on. So here's what you should get for problem number 1. 10 volts, 1.5 amps. Volts over amps gives you ohms. Volts times amps gives you watts. Over here, if I have ohms and watts, this one's a little bit tricky. I have power is volts times amps. I know that I equals V equals IR, so I substitute. V is I times R times I. I get another relationship. Power is I squared R. So if I have 40 watts, 5 ohms, the ratio is current squared. Take the square root, I get 2.828 amps. I know power, amps, solve for volts. So that's problem number 1. Problem 2 is looking at resistor color codes. If you look at the colors, that tells you what the value is. So for example, if I have blue, which is the number 6, red, which is the number 2, and brown, which is the number 1, that means 621. What those numbers mean is, that's the separator. This is 62 times 10 to the 1 ohms, which gives you 620 ohms. Brown is 1, green is 5, and orange is 3. So that's 15 times 10 to the 3 ohms, 15K. And yellow, white, yellow. Yellow is 4, white is 9, yellow is 4. So that's 49 times 10 to the 4th ohms, 490K. So just by looking at the color codes, you can tell what the resistor is. That's how resistors are labeled. Problem 3. Kirchhoff's law is conservation of voltage. If I go around a path and wind up back where I started, all the voltages have to add up to 0. So as I go around loop, this loop right here, I get minus 18. Put the minus sign first, I'll subtract. Plus sign first, I'll add. Plus 12. Plus A. Minus 13. And I'm back where I started. That's got to add to 0. Doing that, solving for A, I get 19 volts. Once I know A, I can go around this loop. So going around that loop, I get minus 19 plus 36 plus B minus 39. I'm back where I started. That's got to add to 0. And that means the B is 22 volts. So repeating it, find C, D, E, F. Here's what you should wind up with. That's conservation of voltage. Problem number 4 looks at conservation of current. At any given point, current in equals current out. So here, I've got 100 amps going in. I have to have 100 amps going out. 88 goes up, 12 goes right. At this point, conservation current says 88 in. I have to have 88 out. This is 57. I am missing 31, so that's A. At B, 57 in. I have to have 57 out. 16 right, so B is 41. C is 11. D is 5. Then an E, same thing. I've got 12 plus 31, 43 amps in. I have to have 43 amps out. Tells me that E is 37 amps. F is 45. G is 10, and H is 8. That's conservation current. At any point, currents have to balance. Current in equals current out. Problem 5 is how to find resistors in series and parallel. In series, resistors add. In parallel, it's the sum of the inverses inverted. So for example, these two, call that R1, 500 plus 600 is 1100. Now 1100 in parallel with 900 is 495. Let's see. These combined give you 1500. In parallel with 400 gives you 315. These 315 plus 495, those are in series. That gives you a total of 810. Then 810 in parallel with 200 is 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Take the sum of the inverses, invert it, 160 ohms. So all this is 160 plus 300 is 460. So there's your answer. That's trying to add resistors in series and parallel. Now another way to do that is an HP calculator. HPs can do that pretty well. I strongly recommend HP calculators. They work really, really well. To kind of illustrate that, let's solve this problem with an HP. So in this case, what it have is 500 in series with 600, 500, enter, 600. HPs use the stack. You set up the stack, then do the operation. That's 1100 in parallel with 900. So take the inverse, take 900, take its inverse, the stack is set up, add the inverses, take the inverse, so this is 495 ohms. 400 in parallel with 1500, so take 400, inverse, 1500, inverse, add the inverses, invert, this is 315 ohms, plus the previous answer. HPs use the stack, remember the last value. This is 810 ohms. In parallel with 200, take the inverse, 200, inverse, add inverse, plus 300, done. On homeworks, you can use Matlab. On tests, if you don't have access to Matlab, you need a calculator that can do this. I recommend HPs. Your pick, though. I can check my answer. If I put this into Circuit Lab, here's my circuit. Apply 10 volts to it. Here's ground. Find out how much the current draw is. The current draw is 21 milliamps. Well, 10 volts at 21 milliamps gives you 460 ohms. Same thing we calculated in problem 5. This is how you find the impedance experimentally. It should match up with your calculations. Number 7, here's another circuit. Here you got to find series and parallel. So these are in series, they add, that's 480 ohms. In parallel with 220, gives you 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2, 150 ohms. So that looking right is 150. Plus 40 is 190. In parallel with 150 is 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2. Take the inverse of the sum. That's 83 ohms. Plus 25, 108 ohms. So all that together is 108. You can also use an HP calculator. Kind of show you pretty quickly. This is why HPs are nice on tests. They're quick. So 300, enter, 150, add, that's 450 ohms. In parallel with 220, inverse, 220, inverse, add, inverse, 147 ohms, plus 40, 187, in parallel, inverse, 150, inverse, add, inverse, plus 25, poof, 108 ohms. Number 8 is check your answer. Again, you don't really need Chegg, you don't need ChatGPT, just Circuit Lab. Build the circuit in Circuit Lab, apply a 10-volt source, find out what the current is. The current is 91 milliamps. The resistance then is voltage over current. This looks like a 108 ohm resistor, and that matches up with the previous problem. Finally, if I want to find these voltages, I can do a thing called voltage division. If I know V2, I know what V3 is. So V3 is what I'm measuring, 330 ohms, over the total, 150 plus 330. That percentage of V2. That's voltage division. So if I know V2, I could find V3. If I know V1, I could find V2. I do know V0. V0 is 10. From that, find V1. To do that, I have to find the resistances looking right. So R3 is 330. R2 is 220 in parallel with 480, 150 ohms. R1 is 150 in parallel with 40 plus R2, 83 ohms. So now I can do voltage division. Ignoring all this, V1 is 83 over 83 plus 25 times 10. Tells you that V1 is 7.70 volts. Once I know V1, I can find V2. V2 is R2, 150 over 40 plus 150 times V1. V2 is 6.09 volts. Once I know V2, I can find V3. V3 is 330 over 330 plus 150. That percentage of V2, 4.18 volts. So did I do that right? Well, to find out, put the circuit into Circuit Lab. Build the circuit in Circuit Lab, find the voltages, and I get same answers. So Circuit Lab is nice. It's one way to check your answers. Your answers should match up with Circuit Lab. And kind of one other comment, this is why you have to show your work on homeworks and tests. If you just put down the answers, I don't know, did you just use Circuit Lab, or do you know what you're doing? I can't tell. You got to show your work. So this part's important. This shows I know how to find the answer. You can check your answer with Circuit Lab, but this doesn't substitute for analysis. So that is homework set number 8 for ECE 111, a review of Circuits 1, or using Matlab to solve for voltages, resistances, currents in various circuits.